So, what is the International Kettlebell Games? It is basically a forum where athletes of all different types can actually come and compete using kettlebells. Yeah, I mean that's basically that's kind of it in a nutshell. Really, it's like you have traditional type kettlebell events up to this point where are very structured, based around 3 different lifts: jerks, long cycle, snatches, and this particular competition, I think there's so many very cool exercises that are done with kettlebells that aren't showcased at all. So this is kind of a form to showcase different kettlebell exercises and bring forward athletes who, regular kettlebell sport type events might not be their flavor. So maybe this will attract some different people that want to, really come get down and see what their prowess is about behind some kettlebells. Dabble a little bit inside of the traditional stuff. Because
more rounded, disciplined athlete.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, when you and Matt first told me about the vision you had for the International Kettlebell Games, to me it really sounded like almost like an MMA of kettlebell training.
Yeah.
And it really seemed like something that would be good in terms that it would bridge the gap between the kettlebell sport folks, the RKC folks, and even some of the CrossFit folks. And as we know, a lot of times there's this idea of separatism out there, and what we want instead is, we want to integrate. And, it doesn't matter which organization you're affiliated with, you can come to this competition, you can find an event that's probably congruent with your skill set, and then you see where you land. So the whole idea behind this is, 1, to find that well-rounded kettlebell athlete, and number 2, to really kind of put out this energy of almost goodwill to where, regardless of discipline, organization, there's going to be an event or all the events that you're going to be well suited for.
Yeah, that's right. And it's you hit on a couple points, because me thinking about how the concept of the International Kettlebell Games, I've been sitting on this for a couple years. And with me being, at least I think I'm a true athlete, I love the competitive sport. I love watching what the human body can do. I'm very intrigued with how strong the human body can be, how fast it can be, how agile it can be. I love all sports, but I really celebrate individual sports. And so, I'm a big fan of watching strongman competitions. I've been competing in kettlebell sport competitions. I love those. I love watching the CrossFit Games. I've watched CrossFit grow up before they even were this big televised thing. And once upon a time, I had thought about competing in one of those. But this is going back about 10 years ago. We didn't have to qualify and do all this other stuff. But it's all about athleticism and who is the best. So when I started dabbling around in kettlebell sport, which is, it's 2.5 years now, was my first event, the IKFF, and I believe it was the Nationals. I was hooked, even though if you think about 10-minute sets, to me 10-minute sets is sort of like run a 5K. And people that know me know that I do not like distance work. I'm a sprinter. I want to lift as heavy as I can, So after that very first event, after I got my feet wet, I was like, man, this is kind of cool. But then right along with all the other type of competitive styles and modules that I liked, I was like, man, I started doing some research and saw that there really wasn't like this kind of kettlebell, what's a good Super Bowl, like a kettlebell Super Bowl type thing involving more than just one discipline. Because there's so many phenomenal athletes. Some people might not know who this guy is, but most people who are watching this probably do. Ken Blackburn is the shit. I'm going to cuss because I'm real and I can cuss. And I'm producing this video and I can cuss. I'm going to cuss. But he is. So you have guys like him. You have guys like Steve Cotter. Even Pavel. There's so many. And in the slew of Russian phenomenal competitors out there that I've seen do phenomenal feats of strength with kettlebells that you don't see in competition. What you see are jerks, long cycle, and snatches. You don't see these guys balancing on one kettlebell while side pressing another one, or doing flips with them, or juggling and throwing them all over the place, or doing Turkish get-offs with 3 kettlebells in one hand. That stuff is really cool to me as well. So I was like, man, I got to put together something where all these different type of athletes can come together and actually really showcase their stuff, and then add an element of, who is the most complete kettlebell athlete. Because I think up to this point, we don't really have any, unless I'm wrong, I don't think there's an event anywhere in the world where you can actually go, okay, yeah, wow, that you can watch somebody do all these different events.
Yeah, the best of my knowledge, you're not going to find, like with kettlebell sport, we really limit it to the jerk, the snatch, and the long cycle, and that's great. But with this, we're going to include a lot of those same competition events, but you guys have also included the 2 hands anyhow, the Turkish get-up, some exercises with a rope. I mean, it's really diverse, and it's going to showcase different physical attributes.
Right, absolutely. So, hey, that's what the International Kettlebell Games is all about. So, what does the competition weekend look like? Well, it's a 3-day event, even though we're actually technically only competing or judging on 2 of the days. Friday is when we're going to actually hold the weigh-ins, as well as the meeting, which is going to be mandatory only because we have so many different types of lifts that we have to, just clarify rulings on and all that good stuff. So that'll be day 1. That's Friday. Day 2, which will be Saturday, we're going to try something a little bit different than you normally would see at a kettlebell sport event, where like everyone's kind of grouped in together and you just have your time slot and just kind of moving through the day. So what we're going to do for this event is there's going to be 3 groups of 20. And I say 3 groups of 20 because we're going to actually limit this year's event to 60 competitors, just because we wanted to make sure that the event runs as smoothly as possible. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for us, especially with all the new lifts and judging and everything else, and we want everybody to enjoy, everybody that is going to compete, enjoy the event as much as possible. So we figured that 60 is a good number. So there'll be 3 groups. Let's call them A, B, and C. If you end up pulling the group A, then you report it like 8:30. Lift time will start at 9, and it'll be starting off with the kettlebell jerk. And unlike a normal kettlebell sport event, whether it's a 5-minute or 10-minute, and I gotta say this because I'm still quite tickled and happy that the IKFF now has a sprinting division, because I did officially announce my retirement to the 10 minutes, even though some people were calling me out because, oh, you're so good at 10. I don't care, I'm a sprinter. I'm a sprinter. I don't like the 10 minutes. I did the 10 minutes because I had to. I had to step up, I'd do it again, but 5.
So, just in case you're not clear, he's a sprinter.
I'm a sprinter. All right, so in this particular competition, 5 minutes, you can actually set the bells down. It's just about massing as many reps as you can inside that 5 minutes. I mean, if your technique is, and you're strong enough to be able to hold those bells for 5 minutes, just bang them out, bam, you do that. But if you're like me, who doesn't have, my pulling rack is still something I'm working on, I'm not quite covering 100% that, it might not make sense for you. So for me, it doesn't make sense to hold those the whole time for 5 minutes. So, you can put them down. So then about a half hour after that, when you get done with that event, you'll be coming up to do your snatches. Same thing, you can switch hands as many times as you want. If you wanted to, and you wanted to just show off and go, okay, I'm going to put my left arm behind my back and do snatch with the right hand the whole time, you could do that. You also could put the bell down, once again, as many times as you like. It's just about massing those reps. And then after that, something I think is going to be a little fun that we came up with is we're just calling it the medley. It's going to be 2 minutes a long cycle, followed immediately by 1 minute of double chest press, then 1 minute of rack squats. And I do want to clarify, the rack squat doesn't mean you have to stay here. For this particular event, for the squats, you can actually ride the kettlebells up on your shoulders. So I just want people to know that, because I don't think I showed that in the actual demo videos. But you can rest them on your shoulders without being DQ'd or getting a warning. And then right after a minute of that, you end up with the deadlift down up, 1 minute of that. So that's going to be the first day. And then, well, actually, let me back up. So Group A will be done in most likely about 2 hours. Group B will report in, knock that out in 2 hours, and then hopefully, I think we're figured out that hopefully the first day will be done by 2:30, 3 o'clock even.
That's the hope.
That's the hope, man. At least on paper, it looks that way. Second day, when we come in, it's going to be, once again, Group A will be up, and it's going to start off with Turkish get-ups. Love that, and I kind of modeled this whole thing after a strongman competition, so if you didn't get a chance to read how we're laying it out on the events page, what it is if you're a guy, you're going to be going from 16 kilograms all the way up to a 40-pound kettlebell. What?
36
no, 80-pound
kilograms.
kettlebell. 80-pound kettlebell is 36
kilograms.
36 kilogram. And then if you're a lovely lady, then you're starting off, I believe, with the 12 kilogram, right? No, 18. What's 18-pound kettlebells? Yeah, that's 8 kilogram, right? Yeah, so you're going with the 18-pound kettlebell. I'm not super proficient in the conversion, so you could hold me to that. That's okay. But anyway, the ladies are going to go from the 18-pound kettlebell all the way up to the 62-pound kettlebell. And what you're trying to do is you're going to do a Turkish get-up with the right hand, Turkish get-up with the left hand, with the lightest weight. Then you move to the next heaviest, and you're going to try to get through that whole line of kettlebells going right, left, as quick as possible. There is a cap. It's 5 minutes, so you got to do what you can, as fast as you can, within 5 minutes. That's the first event of the second day. Event number 2, it's kind of similar, although it's the same weights, but you're doing 10 reps of 2 hands anyhow. Love that exercise. Not the easiest in the world, and those who've done it know that that's not an easy exercise. So once again, it's about how fast you can knock out 10 legal reps. And then the last event, I think, which would be very fitting, is we're going to go into like a more of a metabolic conditioning thing, which will be the monster, which you can also see what that is on the event page. I do 5 of those, followed by 100 jump ropes. And you're going to do that for 5 rounds in a row. Best time wins. So, and then after that, the award ceremony, hopefully we'll be awarding, the International Kettlebell Games dominant female, as well as all the sub winners as well. So I mean, we're pretty excited about that. So that's kind of how the days are going to be laid out.
How does scoring work? So go to the website, the events page, I believe, goes through a lot of the scoring. I'll just give a quick overview. We're trying to come up with a way to be able to equally compare lightweight and heavyweight competitors. So we wound up going with, I think the tested and tried and true method of body weight versus your work capacity. So the amount of weight you lift during the day divided by your body weight would give you a number, so we can compare people on equal ground. And then the second day, it just boils down to time. So, it's all timed events. So at the end of the day, whoever finishes all the events quickest, that's how we're kind of doing that one. So all the details and better examples will be on the website.
Oh man, so what kind of awards, man? We're pretty hyped about this. One of the things that I wanted to do when originally my concept, when I was conceptualizing the International Kettlebell Games, was having a cash payout for the dominant male and dominant female competitors. So I am definitely proud to announce that, even though it's not that much right now, at the minimum, first place for the dominant male, we $500 cash. On top of that, a nice trophy. And for the ladies, same thing, $500 cash as well as a trophy. Now, for the winners of the division, so you have pro, heavyweight, lightweight, there will be medals all the way down through pro-am and then also the amateur. And then this year, because we're just kind of dabbling in some of the subcategories, subdivisions like age brackets, things like that, there's going to be some really cool certificates that will go out for that as well. So, the prize package is what it is. We're pretty excited about it. I think that having some cash out there, especially for everyone who's training very, very hard for this event, is just a little extra of an incentive to actually train hard. Next year we got even some bigger plans, and we'll talk about that next year. Okay, so our vision for the future, and you guys, you can chime in anytime you like on this one, but what I see is this, I think this is going to be a fantastic event out the gate. Next year, we've already started to work on production aspects of next year. So next year, what will happen is there'll be 4 qualifiers to be announced that will feed into the finals. So in September, this is the only time that you'll be able to go sign up and get right into the finals. Next year, there'll be qualifiers. We'll work out all the details. We'll have the events. Hopefully, all that stuff even put together by the event going down September 14th, 15th. So we're going to spread the regionals out, or the qualifiers out, probably, just throwing out some states. Could be one in California, looking at Texas, looking at Jersey, and we're looking at Michigan. And then one of the things I also want to put in for this year that'll be pretty cool is we're going to do some online live streaming of the event, so friends and family from all over the world can actually tune in and watch their favorite people compete. That's only going to grow. We are looking and talking to some sponsors right now, and hopefully by even the September 14th or 15th this year, we might be able to pull in some extra sponsors right out the gate to just even sweeten the prize package even more. Next year, because we do have some pretty big companies watching what we're doing, I'm hoping to be able to, or we'll be able to announce major sponsorship. We are pretty confident in these facts. So we're just gonna smile, and like I always say, hope for the best, no expectations, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. So International Kettlebell Games 2013 coming up very soon. It's gonna be a fantastic, fun event, and this is gonna be a landmark event. It's gonna be the very first one. So who out there is going to be the world's most dominant kettlebell athlete in the realm of International Kettlebell Games 2013? Don't know. Let's have some fun with it though. Thank you.